This program is brought to you by Community Trust Bank, Medical City, Bid Select, and the Neely School of Business at TCU. Welcome to Platforms, the life-lifting news program for women. Now, here's your host, Shivaun Palmer.
Hey, welcome back everybody to Platforms, the life-lifting news program for women. I'm continuing my conversation with Ms. Fritzi G. She is the CEO and president of the Women's Food Service Forum. Fritzi, welcome back.
Thank you.
Great conversation. This organization that you're very passionate about, you're identifying women leaders that you can mentor through the food service industry. I know one of the issues that a lot of presidents of companies are dealing with right now is the multi-generational workforce. How have you guys dealt with that in your in Prime Source?
Well, in Prime Source and also in the Women's Food Service Forum, I think the first step is for us to understand what's important to all the generations that we serve. And so the opportunity to create circles where you can actually speak and understand those differences is the first step. So how do we create the bridge of communication? We can do that through mentorships. We can create that by having circles of discussion. But it's first just let's be open to the fact that it's different. And so we do work around understanding differences, whether it's race or age or color or sex, all of those things.
It's so interesting. It's such a dynamic time now in business because years ago people just came to work and they weren't encouraged to speak out about challenges or dislikes, and these days it's very much encouraged. You know, the millennials versus the boomers and so forth, that we communicate differently, don't we, these various generations?
It is. So in my career, I've been blessed to be in a lot of different circles, whether it's being in a YPO circle, which, you know, honestly, it's predominantly male, and I've been in many meetings where I'm the only African-American woman there. And so I've learned over time when people get to know me, the barriers kind of break down and I get to know them because it is on both sides. And so the first thing I think we have to do is create awareness, understand the differences, and then respect them.
Absolutely. And it impacts the bottom line of a business when you have a happy employee workforce and so forth.
Yes, it does.
Talk about the most difficult business decision you've had to make as a businesswoman in recent memory.
Wow. One second, gosh, shall I go to this week or last week? Probably the most difficult ones for me have been probably in this last economic challenging time. It's one thing when you are leading people and you have people who are really bringing their best to work and they're doing exactly what you ask them to do and beyond. And when it seems like there are factors outside of your control and you have to do things to impact their lives. So when you have to do layoffs, which I've had to do over my career, that is difficult when it seems like the factors are outside of their control and it's not performance-based. That is probably the hardest thing, because I've found when I treat people well and I'm very clear about my expectation and the vision of the company, they overperform. And so when you have to change their livelihood, that's very difficult. I've also found that when you've treated people that way, they're respectful of the situation and it's not really personal, but it still just tears me up.
Let's talk about the last couple of years have been terrible, you know, with the economic downturn and the meltdown on Wall Street and so forth. How, as a businesswoman, has that made you evaluate, you know, how you want to continue your business, how you conduct your companies and so forth? I think a lot of people had taken a step back and kind of looked at a lot of different things in their life since this economic crisis.
So I'm old enough to have experienced this more than once, so I probably think I'm blessed by the wisdom of time. I also think there's the ability to kind of get ahead of it. I think in good times we kind of ignored some of the trends that start to hit us. So I don't think we were as impacted as we could have been if we had not been proactive. But even that being said, you know, we have tried very, very hard to look at what opportunity is there because of this crisis. So what's ahead of us that we can use? How can we leverage this for something in the future? How can we not just have the attitude of doom? I mean, the positive attitude, the power of positive attitude is really, really contagious. And so I think being honest with our staff and team about this is where we are, this is what we're going through. How would you think about it? How can you contribute? What can we do differently? What have we missed? What did we pass on the way to the level of success we are today that we can go back and rethink? So I think that has had a tremendous impact on just the whole culture and how we've dealt with the crisis.
You know, a lot of young girls, there have been self-esteem issues even in 2010. You know, you interview some younger women and they still are grappling with their self-perception and so forth. So how do we as business women mentor these young girls so that they have the self-esteem to, you know, achieve all the goals they want to do in life?
I don't think there is a substitute for someone taking the time to just tell a person, I believe in you.
Those are powerful words.
They're just powerful words. Mm-hmm. And what can I do to help you? I mean, if you just really ask that with sincerity, then I think it makes a person believe in themselves. We've somehow lost the whole gift of acknowledgement and encouragement, and just taking the time to spend with people to share our stories, the good, bad, and the ugly.
Right.
And I certainly have been blessed to have great mentors, both male and female, who've done that, and mentors who've said to me, what exactly were you thinking? You know, come on, join us, get back, you know, focus.
Right.
You're way out there, and that's just been a blessing to me. So I would say spend the time with these people because they're dying, they're thirsty for a support system.
Absolutely, because it's kind of a narcissistic world. Everybody is taking care of themselves, so this is critical. You were a proud mother of 5 children. What kind of information do you want to instill your children in terms of having a rounded, well-rounded, happy life?
Do what you love, regardless of what it pays. Just do what you love.
Right.
If you have to go to work, which most of us do, or choose to, go and do something you love. If you do that, you'll be great at it. You'll be able to explain it to whoever inquires about it, and you'll be able to enjoy learning about how it's changing. That's one thing. I've always said have respect for yourself and respect for others. And if you do that, then you will be a great contributor to the society.
We've got a little less than 2 minutes. Briefly, proudest moment in your life professionally?
Wow. Probably the proudest moment in my life professionally, God, I have so many. I've been so fortunate. It's when a young lady I mentored had gotten an award, and in her speech she acknowledged the impact I'd had because she was just in a different place, and I always encouraged her. That was probably a proud moment. The day I bought Prime Source was a very proud moment in my life professionally. Let's see, actually when I was in Kuala Lumpur and I was managing a team in Asia for Motorola, that's who I was employed with then. I had a group of 40 people that were on a team for me, and we were opening plants and acquiring companies then, and they gave me an award out of something they just created. That was a very proud moment in my career, and it was because I respected all their differences and always tried to arrange our work in order to respect that. The day I became president and CEO of Women's Food Service Forum,
Yeah.
I've had multiple.
Got about 30 seconds left. Why don't you share with us a favorite quote to close the segment?
So mine are probably all faith-based because I'm a Christian. And so my favorite that I use when I always speak is, "Oh, taste and see that the Lord is good." And I just believe that He's given us a life of abundance, so that is true. And then when I'm in trouble in things, I say, lean not unto my own understanding. So I get probably so self-centered, I need to open up, get rid of all the negative stuff and say, okay, what is it now that I need to do? And He either sends people or a word to me.
Well, Fritzi Woods, it was an absolute honor having you on the program. Can you give us a website for the Women's Food Service organization?
Yes, it's www.womensfoodserviceforum.com.
Fritzi, thank you for being on the show. It was an honor to have you.
Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, that's our show for this week. I'm Shivaun Palmer with Platforms, a life-lifting news program for women.